Our policy as a friend group is if the infant swings, it's on site.
Yeah, fuck it, man. He tore his way out of a hyena body and then attacked me.
Damn.
And I was like, look, little blood-soaked baby boy, I got magic missile for days.
Not on these streets.
Hi, and welcome to Blank Bodies, a Vampire the Masquerade V5 tabletop and horror podcast. I'm your host, Hunter, and as always, I'm joined by...
We're starting up the baby jokes again, guys. Watch out. I'm John.
It's been enough time. The people, they crave...
They crave the violence?
Violence
Babies.
and fluids is what I've learned as of late. I'm Sarah. If you have questions about the violence and the fluids, you can join the Discord, I guess.
I think we can do without the baby jokes. I mean, this one had we don't need to be asking people what's the difference between 100 dead baby Knowles and a Ferrari.
You cannot fit 100 dead baby Knowles in a garage. I'm just saying.
Are they that big?
It was like man size when I murdered it.
Okay. That's fair. So it was the infant was medium sized.
Yes.
So it has a 5-foot threat range.
Yes. It said legit when I put my little attack cursor over it, it said newborn Knoll. And I was like, well, he's about to be not born anymore.
Happy birthday to you. Whack. Anyways, we are talking about havens because you've destroyed their haven by destroying their infants.
Their infant should fucking learn some manners.
He tries. He tried, but they got
tried.
Yeah,
they
stomped.
Cool. So continuing our delve into projects and spaces and things. Havens. So we're going to be talking about what is a haven, what are the laws and customs around havens, and how do havens work in V5, because I know some of the rules were a bit vague, open to interpretation. Some might say confusing.
In a vampire book?
In a vampire book?
I've never
In
heard
a World
of
of Darkness property, the rules were vague for interpretation, so people are confused.
Never heard of it.
I don't know her. Does she go here? Anyway, so content warning will be just general World of Darkness topics. If you know, you know.
Yeah, sometimes we talk about, killing babies randomly. Things just come up.
And then other times it'll go back to drugs.
Look. I will not be shamed for murdering that infant.
There are a few joys in this world for John.
He's been through a lot, guys. He's struggling. That's fine. So, the sources will be mostly the core book and the player's guide, and a little bit of dictionary definitions from the Oxford languages.
Yeehaw!
Because we're nerds like that. Speaking of, so what is a haven?
A place of safety or refuge, or an inlet providing shelter for ships or... Fuck, my screen went down. Or an inlet providing shelter for ships or boats, a harbor, or a small port.
Yeah, I just thought that was funny. That was just like, what does this mean? It's like fucking duh. And then there was the addendum of, it's also a place where you put boats.
Which is funny enough, because it can be both for a lot of La Sombra.
Mm-hmm. A lot of character... Boats in the ocean is not exclusively a La Sombra thing. It's just kind of a thing that they enjoy.
Yeah, it should be.
The La Sombra allow other people onto the ocean.
Yes, as long as you pay rent.
I don't know if it's them or the Rokea who allow people into the ocean, but...
well, you have to give the tithing of like a couple of billionaires now and again.
Yeah.
See, I was going to say a place you go when you die, but I did not enunciate when I read.
There's that haven.
She's in haven.
The good old boys.
Yes. But according to the core book, a haven is a vampire's quote-unquote home or base where they find sanctuary from the sun.
So legit, like, we'll get into it.
Okay. Thing that I thought was kind of a cultural point of note if you want to be an asshole in your game, because why not be a petty dick when playing vampire game, is the term alley cat is a vulgar term used for a vampire that keeps no permanent haven and sleeps in various locations. Can also refer to a vampire who feeds exclusively from the houseless or other elements of low society.
So we'll probably get into it. Mm-hmm. So if I'm going to ask a question, I'll just edit it out.
Yeah.
So if you have no dots in haven, are you considered to be homeless?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll get more into details on that, but the short answer is no.
Okay, cool.
So good news there. A haven can cover a wide variety of spaces. Havens do not have to be a house in a traditional sense. It could be a warehouse, library, laboratories, hospitals, funeral homes, train stations, restaurants, caves, marinas, treehouse. The world is your oyster.
RVs.
Yes, that could count as a haven.
Yep.
So
Good
this is a...
Yannick.
Yes. For Yannick? Yeah. The motorhome.
He lives in a motorhome.
Oh, good for him. He's living that van life.
Taken to
I feel like
the 50-foot life.
I feel like once the van life thing started, he may have been lost interest in it. He's been like, "Oh, damn it."
Fuck.
Fuck, they're on to me.
But no, sorry, what were you gonna say?
No, I was gonna say I love the idea of Yannick just like having an Instagram, like posting little updates on his upgrades on his RV with his like little windbreaker.
Yeah, there you go.
But it's not in the like hashtag Instagram van life kind of way. It's in that weird like dad posting his project of working on his car on YouTube because it's just a fun hobby for him.
Yeah.
Like the guy who does the regular car reviews channel.
Oh, I haven't watched that one in a long time.
It's
I do like
so
that channel
good.
though.
Weirdly wholesome. I enjoy it. But yeah, have fun with getting weird with your haven spaces. This is something that I would love to see more people do. Just get weird with it.
I really want to see what a 5-dot Haven treehouse looks like.
Oh god.
You ever watch that show with the kids?
What?
There's a lot of those.
Yeah, but they have a treehouse.
The Magic Treehouse?
No.
Oh.
Was it the
They're spies.
Oh, the spy. Oh, fuck! I know what you're
The
talking
Kids
about.
Next Door.
Kids
Yeah,
Next Door.
Kids Next
Oh, I
Door.
love that show.
That's a
It's so
5-dot
good.
haven in a treehouse.
Yeah, okay.
Hell yeah.
a little inconspicuous, but
Well, I mean, if you spent that much on
a treehouse.
a treehouse, it just you roll up to this tree and there's a Frank Lloyd Wright house just in it amongst the branches.
I feel like that's how you create an elven village in this game. Like
Just
a wood
good.
elf.
you just get a vampire that's just really into Hobbit core and took it a little too seriously.
No.
If the gangrels were allowed to roam free.
No, I mean technically they are. Mostly because they follow cat logic of like, I just go here.
Yeah.
Which is fine. But yes, it is completely valid for some vampires to own multiple havens. So you can have like a house, and then a warehouse, and then a tree house, and then an outhouse.
And then a safe house.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want an
And then a
outhouse
bakehouse.
as a haven.
That's a very specific Nosferatu.
Yes, it is.
That was also, I don't want to spoilers, but one of the most bizarre entries in the Hunter Core book. There is a pre-written story hook. I won't call it a full adventure, but about a haunted outhouse, and that somehow sticks with me.
Because what?
Yeah, I don't think I'd run it. It's not a bad story, but it is definitely one that I feel like no one is going to take seriously when they find out the shitter is haunted.
Just like, oh no, could you imagine just the worst case of ye olde IBS and you died so hard going to the bathroom that the outhouse became a fetter?
That's it. I
Well,
think
you just spent so much time out there because you had your old-timey IBS.
Just
So-
the cholera.
Yeah.
so we don't have Wraith yet, so we don't know if that's exactly what happened, and a lot of them they leave open-ended for you to explain things and figure out how you want to run them for your game, but that sounds like the most reasonable way from what I remember of reading that, is that the teleporting shitter is a fetter for a poop drowning ghost.
I was imagining a ye olde just like outhouse that's just behind grandma's family farmhouse that's just been there for decades and everyone's like, ooh, it's spooky. And then the hunters accidentally just like bump it, or like they're doing range shooting in the area and one of them just like shoots it by mistake, and then the outhouse ghost is now pissed because you've disturbed it.
From what I remember,
I was happy in the shit, and you shot my shitter.
from reading it, I pictured it more like
Like one of those plastic portable ones.
no, that Asian horror movie with the little boy who's all white and he like does the cat meow and
The Grudge.
yeah, it's like The Grudge, but replace the little Asian boy with like a little Southern boy covered in shit who
Just
tries to drown you.
Huckleberry
in
Finn with his,
Yeah.
like the one overall strap just missing.
Yeah, and that could be your haven, is what I'm saying.
There is a flaw to have a creepy or haunted haven, so you
We could
can do this.
you
we can build this.
You can stat out the haunted shitter as your haven.
as one of your multiple havens. Yes.
Yeah.
That would absolutely throw somebody off that's trying to like, I need to find their haven, and they're just like, what?
That would be the worst way to deal with being like a trapdoor hunter.
That would also be the best way to avoid getting in contact with a Toreador, finding your secret stuff.
Yeah.
Because no Toreador.
No.
Except one very specific one who's very into German porn.
It's an art style.
just the Werner Herzog Toreador.
Yes.
It's like,
Reminds me of the shock video my friends used to send each other. There's a man who wears full diving gear and just likes to dive into septic
You
tanks.
sent me that. It was so weird.
He's just hanging out in there like it's a hot tub.
Yeah, you know, audience, everybody, friends,
Please don't
people
do
of
that.
Rome. Sometimes people have really interesting hobbies.
Yeah.
Sometimes they shouldn't necessarily indulge in those hobbies.
Sometimes people just have really interesting hobbies.
That's how bacteria breaks out at a Tough Mudder competition.
Some vampires will have a haven, but it will not be in their domain. That's actually a pretty common strategy.
Oh, they're gonna be looking at me by the college that I run, but they won't be looking at me for me in the suburbs.
Yeah, so that is a very common strategy. So keep that in mind. Of you're just like, I know where their domain is. I'm like, if that man has 2 brain cells that occasionally pink together like a screensaver bouncing dot, they're not gonna put their fucking main haven in their fucking domain.
Yeah. They'll have one there.
They might have one there, but it would be like the office where we run the files.
Right.
So that was just a note because I've had that come up in a couple of things recently where I was just like, girly pop, you're buying what, where? Okay. That is a bold choice, Cotton.
The only way I did that with Ellis was like, I'm just gonna sink so many dots into this one location that it's just a bad idea to be there.
Sunk a lot of dots and you were also like outside of the domain of the main city.
Yeah.
So it was kind of one of those fortified castle things where it's like, yeah, if you didn't do that, you would be just kind of fucked.
Yeah. I also think one of the main story arcs was started just because I needed a Tremere to do some what are they called? Wards for me, and in exchange for that, we engaged with the main plot. So
it was the Bana Hakim, but yes,
that's why he worked for me
Yeah.
because I had to give him his child something to do because he was
like,
tired.
Hey,
of it.
can I contract you? Hey, this Bana Hakim elder, can I contract you out to do warding? Because kind of fun fact, and I apologize for this tangent. Wards and protection spells are very common within Islamicate kind of occultisms. So if you want to be culturally thematic with your Bana Hakims and their blood sorcery, fucking wards should be their bag. So yeah, I had him do that, and I just love that Alice was like, yeah, well, there's any other business deals? And then this poor guy's just like, so my childer.
Bit of a handful.
He's been working on his car nonstop, which, I appreciate his craftsmanship, but he needs to touch grass. I say to the Bana Hakim elder that I made him wear a shirt that says "Who's your daddy" for several sessions.
Yep.
Because he did not understand how tourist traps really worked.
Yep.
Let me run things, guys. It's a good time for everyone. Anyways, so traditions and havens. So there are 2 of the 6 traditions that kind of touch base on this issue. The first one is the second tradition, which is called the domain.
Bum, bum, bum.
Do you guys want to read it, or?
Thy domain is thine own concern. All others owe thee respect while in it. None may challenge thy word while in thy domain.
That's in the core book, page 51.
Amazing.
Thanks.
So, typically within Camarilla cities, the prince has domain over the whole region. They got the Hardstadt hat. Oh no. And then these princes will grant land and titles to those who serve them or the tower, depending on whatever their whims and decrees are. And therefore, once you have a domain, you can therefore further divide that amongst people that work for you if you so desire, or people in your coterie. It's like it's a feudal system, guys.
Wow.
Within anarch cities, while there usually is no specific person granting lands and titles, the community leaders or the community itself will divide the territory or turf amongst those who live in the area. Battles and politicking often are a big point of contention and why these lines are often constantly shifting.
Because they don't have a structure of, you can't take land from that person because I technically own all of it. Mm-hmm. And instead it's like, well, this is mine, but I'd like that block over there. Mm-hmm. If I punch him hard enough, he'll give it to me. Yeah,
so unless you have some sort of firm treaty or contract or understood power structure in an anarch city, things are probably going to be in a lot of flux and contention.
I find that a little bit weird. I mean, I get it, because, vampires. Mm-hmm. But also, anarchs aren't they supposed to be kind of like, hey, we look out for each other?
They try.
They're still vampires, though.
The anarchs in V5 are also more divided on opinions than they were previously, it seems, especially now that I think the implication is a lot of the
old Sabbat came through.
Yeah, a lot of the old Sabbat who weren't just like murder nuts, but the ones who are just like, these Cain idiots suck. I don't like any of that stuff. The ones who are like, we're the true anarchs, they're like, okay, now we actually are the anarchs.
Right. Yeah, because the anarchs that existed in previous editions kind of worked in tandem with the Camarilla begrudgingly.
They were more almost like libertarians.
Yeah.
Where some of them were true anarchists, but a lot of them were like, listen, we'll work with you. We're going to do what we need to do to work within your system. But we're also just going to do our own thing and ignore what we don't like. Yeah. And we have the right to do that now. It's weird.
Yeah, but it's weird. So some anarchs kind of do that, and they'll just continue to ape the system of the Camarilla, but, just more steps. And other ones will try to do, like actual anarchist communes where the whole domain is owned entirely by the community, and you might have, like, personal property, so people might have individual havens that, like, that's yours specifically, but the entire city is free for use for whatever, and then you might have very weird libertarian people that are just like, well, we have a contract, and we've agreed a part of the ledger of the da-da-da-da-da.
In one of the books, aren't there the weird, like, college bunker libertarians?
Yeah, it's so funny. The minutes that they give in that section are so fucking funny. But then there's also, anarchs that are literally just, like, cartel-style gangsters that are just like, you're allowed to stay here if you keep paying whatever, dues you owe me. And once that stops happening, I'm going to take it back.
Right.
So you have that whole gambit. You can kind of decide how you run it.
I mean, that would be a fun way. I know we need to get back on topic, but if you want to kind of run the Giovanni, the way they used to be run would be to make them like an anarch sect and be like, no, this is our area. You can pay us for protection while you're in our land, but this is our part of the city.
Yeah, I mean, they're basically the only independent sect or faction within the clan specifically now. So yeah, you absolutely should be running them like that. Or they're just like, look, man, if you want to keep your bakery, like, that's cool and all. We're here to, like, support you in an independent business. But, it'd be a shame if problems. We're here to prevent the problems.
I've been hearing Gary the Arsonist over in Chicago has been traveling. And we gotta, I'll protect you from him. You just got to pay the dues. Because, I'm putting my neck out there.
Jerry can only be distracted by shaking keys for so long.
Exactly, yeah. And he's got a Molotov cocktail in his hand. It's always there. I don't understand it.
Oh, so the fifth tradition, hospitality.
Yeah, you got a lot to follow.
Honor one another's domain. When thou comest to a foreign city, thou shalt present thyself to the one who ruleth there. Without the word of acceptance, thou art nothing. Yeah. That's from the core book, and it's from the same page 52. I have to say, did I pronounce that right? Ruleth? That's one of those words that I've read. Ruleth. There we go. It's one of those words I've read a lot, and I don't know if I've ever actually heard aloud.
I like Rolf. That's how the gangrel say it.
Ruleth.
Yes. In Camarilla cities, kindred are expected to present themselves to the prince, usually at Elysium. They're often asked what they're doing, why they're there. It's very much like questioning at the border with TSA kind of a thing. Some princes are more relaxed, while others would be extraordinarily strict, including Scourge death squads. And basically, if you don't do this presentation thing, your ability and access to have rights, including access to, like, havens in any way that'll be respected, is null and void until you go, hi, I am here. Do a little curtsy.
May I stay, please?
And that's something definitely that's kind of important to decide about a city if you're running, is how important they take that. Because, like, some cities it might be like, yeah, you just got here. You haven't presented yourself, so you're fair game until you walk into Elysium and say, I'm here. Someone might be like, oh, I found this guy sneaking around. Time to kill him.
Could be a whole black bag dragged into court. Now you're the spectacle for the evening. Congratulations. We're all very old and bored.
So what happens if there's an Elysium, I don't know, once every month, and you get here like 2 days after the Elysium? Are you safe until the next Elysium rolls around?
That is something the storyteller needs to decide about the city.
Yeah.
Because you could have a game where it's like, bro, you gotta stay below the radar until, like, next Elysium. Or it could be hey, you need to send a message to the Seneschal or your Primogen and just be like, hey, bro, I just got here and I'm trying to file this paperwork and I don't know what fucking queue I'm supposed to be getting into. Like, help.
It could be even one of the things where you're new enough. Your whole first story arc could be like, so where the fuck is Elysium? Who the fuck is anybody? Like, we just got here, and you can't just walk around being like, so are you a vampire? Are you a vampire? Like, some cities might keep their shit secret enough that you could show up and not find anything for nights.
Yeah, sadly, there is no vampiric Clippy to show up and be like, hi, so I see you're trying to get to Elysium. Would you like help with that?
Well, that depends on your clan.
True.
Yeah. The Nosferatu, I'm sure you could probably, if you're coming from somewhere else, you'd be like, I need to go to this city. And they're like, okay, you need to do this, this, and this. Talk to Greg down in Sewer Tunnel CA, or he'll take you to who you need to talk to.
Yeah, this is somewhere where having a Maula or contacts or status might be useful.
Huzzah.
Huzzah, making dots useful. So within Anarch cities, this really just depends on the vibe of whatever the fuck you're running. Some will maintain the exact same practices as the Camarilla, because the vampires there are just old as fuck, and they're just like, look, this is what I've been doing, it works, we're just gonna keep doing it, whatever. And then you might have some people that will want to do extra things. You might have people that just give no single absolute fucks, and they're just like, look, as long as you're not breaking Masquerade or, taking other people's shit, I don't care.
You could even, I think it'd be interesting to have even, like, one of the more old school, but, like, fuck the Camarilla type. It's like, no, you need to come here and you need to publicly declare that you have nothing to do with the tower. And until you do, then you're an enemy in our land.
Yeah, I like that.
Which then, if there are Camarilla spy agents, which of course there are, they take notes of that and then report back just being like, hey, so Jerry said fuck the prince. Is he dead now? It's like, fucking goddamn it, Jerry. We're writing.
You're going too hard.
Jerry, too hard in the paint. We just need you to go in and collect some intel. Like, fuck, you committed too hard. So, in terms of Haven, both sides of the Anarch and Cam divide tend to treat the Haven as a kind of sacred space. The Haven is the domain of its specific owner, and respect and deference to the whims of its owner tend to be taken very, very seriously. Even deadly seriously. Whole plots of your story can absolutely revolve around who did what where and whose Haven. You could do a whole clue who done it between different Havens, and that could just be the entire fucking story.
That could be kind of fun.
Yeah, I like that.
Who threw a brick through my window?
Mm-hmm.
The adventure.
Figure it out.
Right.
The adventure.
The adventure begins. Just fucking...
Well, it wasn't Jerry. It would have been a Molotov if it was Jerry.
Well, the brick wasn't on fire or covered in burnable fluids.
Right.
I'm
Couldn't be
sorry,
Jerry.
just my dumb, because we did the Hobbit core joke earlier, all I could think of is Gandalf, but if he was a Lasombra, just like walked into your fucking Hobbit house.
Who took me pipeweed?
Is it secret? And you're like, what?
What is
happening? I don't like it. But yeah, also just kind of keep in mind for themings and stuff that there often is a sense of classism that comes with how universally accepted a haven will be and how much its rights are actually respected in the community. Well, most people know not to fuck around in mansions, museums, and CEO offices at the top of skyscrapers. Those of quote-unquote proper society might not give the same courtesy to an abandoned warehouse, a mausoleum, a campsite. And those who exist on the margins of society may end up having as strict, if not stricter, standards of behaviors within their space to reinforce their rights to exist in the space. So
they may take their space more seriously because other people don't. So essentially they will enforce their rules harder than even like the Camarilla does, just because they have to do that to prove that it's their space.
Yeah, so that's something to keep in mind. Just in general.
Especially for Anarch cities, or those Nosferatu warrens, or wherever.
Even if you want to delve into, like, having Thin Bloods in your plots, yeah, the Thin Bloods might be much more touchy because of their lower status, as combined with the fact that a lot of them do alchemy that requires very special equipment, and they can't just pick up and move shit, so they're going to be very touchy about you fucking with their space. So, things to keep in mind for your plot when you're going forward on stuff. Doop-a-doop. So, the mechanics for a haven per 5th edition. In the advantages section, in the backgrounds on page 188, the dots for havens are completely optional with no dots. It is assumed you have at least the very bare bones of a space, and you can kind of fluff this how you want. Could be a seedy motel room, could be an office cubicle, could be a slumlord studio apartment, could literally just be a hole in the ground. You have something where you're not going to die, but it's not going to be nice. Decide with your storyteller what the fuck that means.
Word.
Hell yeah. The dots that you do get, sorry. I misspoke. Storytellers may grant a player a haven or an upgraded version of a haven based on their influence, status, or resource dots. And this bonus of a haven or an upgrade on the haven will disappear as those status, influence, or resources dots also disappear. So you could have a haven that you've sunk dots into, but because you have resources for the storyteller, can be like, yeah, I'll just give you like 2 dots in luxury for free to go along with your haven. But if you have a project and you've staked those resource dots, those luxury dots might also get staked as well. Because it's like, I don't know, the equivalent of you had to pawn a bunch of your shit or something you got repoed, or the items that are the luxury items in your space are being used as part of the project.
Or it could even be simple as something like, you own a warehouse. Warehouse space is money. Your project takes up a lot of space. You're literally making less money because you have less storage space because you're building whatever in the back corner. And it's slowly taking up more and more space from your warehouse.
Yeah. There's, again, multiple ways you can flavor this. Please have fun with it. Yeah, or cheese it as much as you can to get away with your bullshit.
Hey.
Ayo. I respect players that creatively cheese their bullshit. It's almost like it's World of Darkness and nobody's nice or playing fair. Yes. So, where it was? So Haven background dots do not have to be based in other background dots. While your vampire may be bad with money, if a family member, a spouse, a sugar guardian of some sort gives you a large house, they can have the Haven while not having any resource dots. So, that's a good thing to know, which I find very funny and something that I kind of want to fuck with more.
I also, as an ST, I think if you just have a place that there are no dots sunk into, that to me is a welcoming to fuck with it way more than if someone has put the money into having it. Like if someone has a 5-dot haven, I don't think almost any plan that I would have for my game involves just burning that to a total loss. But like if a player is like, yes, I have a grand mansion, I have no dots in haven. It's like, I'll keep that in mind.
That bitch about to get repossessed.
Or, assaulted by the Second Inquisition, or
it's just in massive disrepair.
Yeah, there's a lot of things you can do. But, I think if you're going to take a living quarter and not call it a haven, I think it's, especially the grander it is, the more welcome it is to being fucked with in some sort.
Yeah, that is definitely a touch base at session 0, because I've had some players that get really touchy about their character's space being fucked with, which is a valid thing. Just touch base. Havens can be owned by an individual player or by the coterie as part of the coterie pool. Shared havens make it much easier to build up a space to be more fully kitted out for whatever operation that the gang is working on. So if you have plans to have a casino that has like a hotel space and a restaurant and like a bunch of accoutrement that makes it easy for you to like move people around or move goods around or launder money, if you have multiple people in the coterie chunking in on that, it's going to be a lot easier to function and get that done as opposed to just leaving it up to the Ventru. So, options to keep in mind. So, with the dots for the Haven, the base Haven rating are an abstraction of the size, privacy, and security of the space. Each dot adds +1 to the difficulty of the space against surveillance and break-ins, and a +1 to notice danger within your own Haven. So, there are tables on page 119 that can help decide the base difficulty of a haven, and I would honestly just write that somewhere as a note on your sheet, like whatever you and the storyteller decide, to save time, because whatever you decide is the base difficulty of the haven without any of the dots on it, just have that noted somewhere, so then as you build up the haven, you can be like, oh yeah, so the base difficulty is 3, and then I've put 2 dots into it, so now the base difficulty is 5.
Right.
So I'm riddled with ADHD, so just more notes is always helpful, so hooray. So, the book recommends, if you've sunk 1 dot into the base rating, that is the equivalent of a small but more secure or better built than the default haven. So, instead of having like a seedy motel room, this would be like a locked storage room, an actually properly maintained crypt, or just like a regular normal apartment with an actual like deadbolt and maybe a ring camera. With 2 dots, this is a medium sized building or space with a nice security or privacy. The book recommends the ideas of like a full-on sewer tunnel, a proper warehouse, or a full-size single-family home. With 3 dots, this is a large size or a very secure and private space. So the book suggests things like a bank, a compound, an entire penthouse floor. Calibrate this as you need at your table.
If I had a 5 dot. That'd be like an entire hotel.
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Yeah, it'd be like the JW Marriott downtown.
Yeah, that's just yours.
Yeah.
Like, I think for Ellis, his haven was the entire country club.
Yeah.
Like, the club itself and the club grounds and the
And the
cathedral and...
Yeah. Like, it was
Gotcha.
so big, I couldn't justify that just sitting at 3 dots, because I was like, that's crazy. I would do 3 dots if it was, like, just the main country club building was considered the haven. But since it was all of that, I was just like, yeah, let's just ramp that up to 5. Fuck it.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, adjust as needed. With havens, there's also haven merits and flaws, which these are super fun. I love all of these. These are bonus features you can add to your haven. These dots do not add to the base haven rating. Some merits may require a certain base rating to be able to purchase the merit or the flaw. So, much like Magic the Gathering, read what the card says, do what the card says.
Yay!
Yay! I'm not good at Magic, but I like that rule. And a note for the purposes of projects, merits and flaws and haven dots can be stacked to your staked pool. So if you were doing a project and you're like, okay, I'm going to do the project in this warehouse that I have, then but I don't want to burn all 3 dots of my base rating for the warehouse and basically just have the warehouse inaccessible to me. You could like stake 2, and then if you want to add staked, like the watchman to be like, okay, we're using up a chunk of the warehouse space, and then a chunk of my security team's also working on the project during the day, so they're not guarding as much. Then that
Makes
way
sense.
you at least have 1 dot in the warehouse still accessible for gameplay, where you're like, okay, we can still like hide in here if we need to, if something goes tits up, or store extra equipment,
Right.
yada, yada, yada. So things to keep in mind. So I decided to list a couple of merits that I was just like, I think these are really helpful and or interesting, and things that I tend to not see players particularly pick up on. So the first one is location. Your haven is in a cool and or helpful place. You add +2 to the difficulty or chase of your domain. If neither option makes any sense, work with the ST for a proper +2 bonus. The book suggests a +2 to etiquette rolls due to your proximity to Elysium.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if you just want to put your haven in some place that's just kind of fun or funky.
Okay. So, like, if your haven's like a club, you're like, well, we want to be in the cool part of downtown so that we get cool clientele.
Yeah, so then you can add, or, that could either be fluffed as you're getting a +2 to the difficulty to infiltrate because it's a very popular club that's in a cool part of town, so there's a lot more just bodies around.
Yeah.
So it's harder to fuck around. Or if you want, you could argue to shift to be like, yeah, anybody in my club gets a +2 to performance.
Yeah. Or everyone here is super hip and in the know, so if you're here, you get a +2 to etiquette. Just because you're fucking in the know, you're hearing people talk about what's going on. People are willing to tell you what's going on.
Or, depending on the type of club, I would even take like streetwise or politics instead. And I'm just like, fun ways to build bonuses for things if you need it. Like I'd mentioned earlier, there's Watchmen. You can pay for guards or goons, however you want to flavor them. And each dot in this merit adds 4 mortals of average quality and 1 gifted mortal to the squad of guards and or goons.
All right.
Yeah, which you can, if your ST is willing to allow you to do that, you can like build up a little army of mortals who are at your beck and call to help guard your space. And
Take
stat
Watchmen
them out.
like 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
12 average people and 3 random dudes. Or good
Yeah.
dudes. Yeah.
I have had fun, at least building up the NPC of the gifted mortal and writing like a little backstory for them and having like a basic NPC stat block for them of like, here's the things that they're kind of good at. So if things go tits up in my space, it's like, I know that Charles and Jorge are really good with, brawl. I'm not.
Right.
But they are. So that's fun to do. There's also warding.
Which we talked about a little bit earlier.
Yeah. So warding is magic that keeps your haven safe. Magic that keeps your haven safe. Oh my god, I am having a stroke. Anyways. Discuss the limits of this ward with your storyteller. Each dot adds +1 to the pool to resist scrying, along with whatever entry the ST allows. This merit may require Occult 3 access to Blood Sorcery to purchase.
Or knowing someone who has that.
Yeah, that would be the access to where it's like, you don't know Blood Sorcery, but you know a guy, and you're just like, okay, I can pay this guy to do the thing.
No, I thought Ellis had that warded mostly so things couldn't leave.
So the warding against scrying is automatic.
Yeah,
Yes.
right.
And then he had the extra warding done for 2 things. A, to keep people in
Mhm.
and to keep Guru out.
Right.
We were right up against the woods on one end,
Mhm.
and one of the Primogens was my homie because she hated that's one of the Chicago Gangrel
Mhm.
Primogen.
Yeah, she's
And-
big into lupine hunting.
She
Right,
specifically doesn't like lupines, and so I organized hunts for her. And so they really didn't like us.
Right.
The werewolves specifically did not like us. So that's why the wording we did in the game was to like, we should just make sure they don't come in uninvited.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what that was.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the lore reason. The other half of that was we did not have the werewolf books at all, and I was like, I don't want to run fucking werewolf NPCs when I have like no material for it in the
Right.
new system. So we're just gonna put up a magic wall of this is where the data ends, like a Bethesda game. You cannot cross this line.
But I can see it. I can look into the woods.
It's been rendered. Why can't I go? So, yeah, because I've had a character that has a warded haven where kindred and ghouls take damage crossing the threshold if they're uninvited.
Nice.
But the cool thing the storyteller set up for that is along the perimeter of the property, there's a series of just like little chimes and bells, so that if a kindred or a ghoul crosses that threshold or is in the area, the chimes will go off.
Nice.
Which I was like, oh, that's kind of fun.
Mhm.
So it's like I get a warning system if folks that I haven't cleared already are in the area, and then if they do try to breach the perimeter of the building, then they take damage.
Right.
And I was just like, that's fun.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like most wards are not powerful enough to actually stop
Right.
vampires completely, but you can
It'll be
either,
like, fuck. Ow.
yeah, then you at least have like a couple of rounds of being like, nope.
Mm-hmm.
But if you do, it's gonna suck. Take all this ag damage. So yeah, those are just ones that I thought were kind of fun. And then in the player's guide, there's more merits and flaws
Who
for
saw?
your havens, which is fun. Those exist on page 112 in the player's guide.
The player's guide.
In the player's guide.
The player's guide.
The guide for players.
Yep.
Yeah. The player's guide does suggest that for creative uses, haven merits may be fused together or altered to fit player needs at ST discretion.
What do they mean by fused together? So, like, if you buy, like, you could combine, like, security and something.
Well, the example they gave in the book was for the machine shop merit, where you can have a studio, a lab, or a workspace with high-end or specialty tools. There was a suggestion of you might be able to fuse the machine shop in a laboratory, because depending on the work you're doing in the laboratory, you might need more than just like a fume hood and some beakers.
Well, it's also one of the
Right.
things, too, where, like, just, like, 3D printing, like, you need a fume hood for that.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, yes, you're using special production machinery to build whatever you're printing, but, like, some people get really into it and they do, like, alcohol baths to clean their
Mhm.
prints afterwards. Well, then you have to recycle that alcohol. So all of a sudden it slowly turns into, like, a chemistry lab, too, because you're
Mhm.
recycling alcohol and filtering liquids, and then you're recycling plastics, and so I could definitely see the overlap
Yeah.
there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's like one that the book was like, yeah, this definitely could be a problem. And there's other players are creative in ways that damage my soul and my psyche, which is fantastic, and I love all of my friends and my players. But sometimes a motherfucker will just throw out an idea at you that you would have never conceived of in all of your days.
Like my Zamitsu with the special surprise in his torso.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, the fact that I had to sit there and do the math of what's the kickback force on a claymore.
But, yeah.
So be open to hear out ideas.
Right.
Because sometimes people just love building forts. They love building little houses, little cozy corners, little project nooks.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking let them. It's fun. And, sometimes somebody will just have a really wacky idea and you're just kind of looking at what the tools you have and you go, if I Frankenstein these two together, sure. You good with that? Yeah, let's go.
Mm-hmm.
So.
That's also just, like, how appropriate are the two to be mixed together. It's definitely a lot of back and forth discussing how much you want to give your players for their points.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can't you don't want to give them too much, because then it's unfair to the other players, but at the same time, you don't want to nitpick. Be like, listen, I know you said you had a machine shop, but do you really have a Bunsen burner and not a regular burner? It's like, it doesn't matter. At some point.
That's an Erlenmeyer flask.
Yeah. Why do you have an Erlenmeyer flask in your auto shop? No, then
I picked it up at a garage sale. Leave me alone.
I don't know why the vampire has a blacksmith forge in their haven. He can't fucking use it because it gets Rorschached every fucking time. And
he's really trying to follow that path of not being Rorschached every time he fires it up so that he can finally follow his age-old dream of being a blacksmith.
Being a smithy? Yeah, but he didn't put the dots in resolve and composure, so just fucking just yeeting himself
He's figuring it out
of the building constantly. It's like, I suppose, sure, man.
You could almost run that like a project where you're staking your haven with a forge in it to temper yourself to the flames to gain the composure that you need to not be bothered by it.
Honestly,
yes.
I absolutely would run that project.
Yes.
That Haven-based project. I'm just like, you know what, buddy? Sure. You have to roleplay that at the table at least once or twice, because that's too fucking funny.
He ends up pulling a what was the comedian? Richard Pryor.
Mm-hmm.
Running down the street on fire.
Just a little matchstick. Oh, buddy. So, the 4 new merits and flaw things that you get in the player's guide is business establishment. You rent out part of your building to mortals to use. So it's like, yeah, if it's a case of, sure, you have the 5-dot haven of the big hotel, you could take the merit of business establishment where you rent out a portion of the first floor to have a coffee shop or a bar that you don't get any, you technically don't own that business, but because the mortals are running a bar in the first floor of your hotel, they're bringing in more mortals and, you can snack. However the fuck you want to build this. There's also what's called a furcus, which I didn't mind the word at first, but Ash finds the word weird, and now that he's pointed that out, and I now have had to say it aloud a few times, I agree it is a weird word.
Furcus.
Furcus.
Listen, just focus on your word.
Are you telling us you want to move to Appalachia?
No.
Because all your references to weird words today have pointed me in that direction.
It's fair.
Furcus killed my pappy.
I mean, Appalachia is where you'd probably find a Frey in the Veil.
Yeah.
Another magical spot.
Absolutely.
Yeah, which is what a furcus is. Your haven lies over ley lines, a Frey in the Veil, or some other magical spot. Play for this however the fuck you want. Have fun with it. This won't end
you can
poorly.
Do what?
This won't end poorly.
No. And I'm assuming you would just work with your DM to figure out what kind of magical spot it would be.
Yeah, some sort of occult woodly-woo.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially now that I've got an idea for an episode in my hat. But now that we have like werewolf and stuff, we're getting more and more access to other
realms
that you might not want in your house.
Right.
Or might want in your house. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like that's like a fun... This is a positive
yes.
and a negative.
Your pantry is an entrance into the Umbra.
That's pretty dope. But now you can't store beans in it.
Specifically beans.
Yeah. I don't know.
Someone keeps eating them.
Yeah, exactly. Every time you put them in there, they disappear. The corn stays put, but those beans, gone every time.
We can't put onions into the Umbra pantry because dogs can't eat onions. That's so rude. I'm so
That's
sorry.
what they meant when they said that the Umbra is more dangerous to Garou now. There's onion.
People have been throwing onions
Just putting
in there.
onions and chocolate in there. I'm going to hell. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
so
they're
there's missing...
lupines. It's fine.
Oh, rude. So Machine Shop, which I've mentioned, is a studio, lab, or workspace with high-end or specialty tools. That could be tons of options.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the flaw that I find very funny. It's so funny. I need people to take this. It's called shared. Your haven is also used by other kindred that can make choices about the space without your input.
We pretty much had that in our Vancouver game.
Yeah.
All of us lived together. And I'll tell you what, I had to train our gangrel to wipe his feet on the goddamn carpet, or the outside carpet, before he came inside.
He had to teach him how to use a doormat?
Mm-hmm.
You know what you should have done?
Put a puppy pad down?
No. There's those, the boot cleaner things where it's like cement thing with the bristles.
Mm-hmm.
You get one shaped like a hedgehog.
Right.
So it's just cute.
And you can rub his feet on it.
Yeah, just like, he comes in, just like, did you use the hedgie?
He got
Did
better
you use
at
the
it.
hedgie? Go back outside until you
He
use
got
the hedgie.
much worse later.
Yes, he got much worse later, but he got real good at it after I had to scold him a couple times.
See, my secret out of that was I also had a Haven that was an RV that I just parked in the garage, which made it my garage. Everyone was fine with that.
Yeah, I don't think I went out in the garage except to get in the RV.
Didn't you have a motorcycle you parked in there?
I don't know if I parked it in there because the RV probably would have taken up pretty much all of it.
mean,
I assumed we kind of had one of those little overhangs
Oh, okay.
next to the shed kind of
That
thing,
works.
you know? But we'll say whatever.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
It was all shared.
It's in the past now.
We had our own rooms. We had a coterie mate talking to plants. She brought in a bunch of plants so she could talk to them.
We gave the Nosferatu the basement so that it was like his own little sewer.
Made him feel at home.
Did he really feel at home though? Or were
I
you
don't-
guys
I don't
just
fucking
being
know.
prejudiced?
Look, he called it, okay?
Oh well, that's
Yeah.
on him. That's what he gets for falling into his own stereotypes.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. He did get upset when I tried to break the wall down to let the spirits free.
This is true.
So he did like it. Anyway.
Oh, good. You know, guys, we're recording, and I'm just sitting here like, man, I'm excited for Monday. Monday's gonna be a good time. Oh no. Anywho, so that's the rough and basics of havens at this point. So, any thoughts, feelings, concerns?
I love havens. I love when people get to make their own havens. I feel like they give the game a lot more flavor than you'd think because people tend to spend a lot of time in each other's havens. When people meet up, I found it's almost that you meet at someone's haven. And even if it just flavors the discussion scenes or whatever, it adds a lot to the game. Even if it's not constantly under assault or you're trying to hide or whatever, like they add a lot. They add a lot of atmosphere. It's your chance to design a space in the world, which is usually just the ST's realm of designing the world. You literally get to spend dots to create your own little portion of whatever world you're sharing, and I think that's really cool in and of itself.
I agree. I have mixed feelings about havens, honestly, because I think they're really cool. I think the mechanics are neat, but I feel like personally, I almost never put dots in havens because I want to use my dots or my experience in dots to do things that I know will be able to interact with the story and whatnot. And I feel like once you start piling dots into a haven, you're either have to be like, okay, we got to figure out how to shoehorn this haven in there so I didn't just use all these dots for nothing. Or you use the dots for nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
yeah.
then my other side of that is, and maybe it's just because I'm, a little bit, me about it, but like, I've always thought like you shouldn't punish people for not having a haven or not having dots. Like you're not going to punish someone for not having dots in a cult. They're not going to have access to the information that you might have, but you're not going to be like, you don't have a cult, you're fucked. If I don't have a haven, if I didn't spend points in haven, it would be a bit of a bummer to be like, you didn't spend points in haven, you're fucked.
Yeah, that's why I like that there's the contingent on rules of if you have no haven dots, you're assumed to have not a good situation, but like it's fine.
Right.
And you can gauge how not good or bleh the space is. But there's also the so if you didn't drop all the dots into haven, if you drop the money or drop the dots on like resources or influence, the ST could just be like, yeah, so you have a 2-dot haven that's tied into like your dots and influence. So if for some reason your influence comes into danger or damage, you might lose your apartment or wherever the fuck you're living.
Yeah.
So that's a good workaround, which is kind of fun.
I think it also depends on the story you're telling for how important a haven having one is going to be. Like if it is a game where like the players are hiding and they're like scared and something's tracking them down, if you're the only person who didn't put dots in haven, I think that's fair for you to be a little less safe than the rest of the party when they're spending dots on that. And that
would be a session 0 thing, and that's, like I said, we know that's what's going to happen, so I'm going to spend dots on haven because I know that it's going to be used.
Yeah.
If I'm in a chronicle that the storyteller's like, you guys are on the run, you need a safe place to be. Okay. Perfect. I know that if I make a haven, I will be able to use it. It will matter. But like, how often, do you, maybe I spent 6 points total on building this haven really cool, and then all we ever do is meet up so that we go somewhere else.
Yeah, that might also be
a bummer.
Yeah, it would be a bummer. That might also be a touch base with your storyteller, just being like, hey, I spent the dots on this, and it's being underutilized, and we've been playing for 4 or 5 sessions. You don't have to do a spoiler, but if you can give me an up or down whether or not this is going to factor into things, or if I'm allowed to like recrunch these dots into something else.
Yeah.
Might be a good talk.
Right.
There's that, and then I think there's also like the planning aspect and how your party goes about things, which is kind of hard to pre-plan. I mean, I think a good ST can look at a character's sheet and it's like if they've put, especially with merits and flaws, if they put more than a single dot in it, it's probably something to keep in mind if you're doing a longer campaign that's not a pre-written story or whatever. But like when I made Ellis, who had the giant country club, we tended to plan events and things to happen in the country club because we had access to the country club grounds. So like we had a lot of scenes that happened there just because we had access to it, and so having it led to more scenes than I had originally planned happening there just because it existed.
Yeah.
So it became a safe place for people to meet that was outside of city grounds. So like you guys were asking to like, can I talk to someone here? Like, can we set up a meeting?
Right.
Like, so it also is like, I think if you're going to put dots into Haven, you need to have a plan on how you want to use it beyond I want a cool house.
Yeah.
Like how the space is being utilized, because it's like there was because then there was our friend the Banu Hakim in that game who put the Haven dots into his place where he had the garage where he was working on guns and working on his car. And honestly, I weirdly fucking loved all of his little dadding out scenes of working on his bullshit. Like, that was good, and I like the little dive bar that, like, Gideon had that he would go to, and that's where you and our poor little Malkavian guy would just meet up.
Specifically Taryn.
Taryn, yeah.
Would come visit.
One
One of the three.
Yeah. And, and that I ended up using that as a highlight spot to introduce an NPC that you guys all ended up really enjoying and went on a rescue mission for. Yay. So, yeah, if players are putting dots into things, assume it's something they want to fuck with, and you're just like, okay, cool, thank you for giving me these pieces, I'll add them to the board.
Right.
I think the hardest to use that I've seen a player put dots into Haven for is specifically someone who's like, I want a place that's super secure and secret that no one can know about, and it's very safe. And that is a lot harder to do anything with just by force of you have intentionally made this place secret. You have intentionally made it very secure, and there's not a whole lot going on there other than you sleeping there, which means you're very safe. But you're going to have to, as the player, I think, initiate more happening there if you want the location to come up beyond, like, the players need a secret, safe place to go to. They go to there. Yeah,
because that could be my storyteller brain's like, okay, I would want to talk to that character or that player and just be like, so do you want me to never discuss your secret place? Like, I will obviously not divulge where it is, but I would like to do like a highlight scene now and again of you working on something in there, because that's what I did with our friend that had the Malkavian player, because he had a secret laboratory haven. I'd never divulged you guys where it is, but there were several times that he was working on something or would have a revelation, and I was just like, so where are you at? And he's like, probably in my haven. I was like, cool, so you're in the lab and you're working on stuff, so you can have like cool cinematic scenes and have things happen to that character where they get news or information, and now they're just like, fuck, I have to go find the rest of the crew, and then they'd end up driving across the city to go to the country club or would run to the bar, depending on how much they panicked and like which brain space they were in. So
I think it's just a weird balancing act with Haven, because again, if Ellis has a 5-dot Haven, but then I was like, cool, well, I also got Gideon a 5-dot Haven. It's a lot of dots between havens, which means we're going to be spending a lot of time at those havens, which means then we're also like, for me, I like to, just as a player, I would prefer to go and explore like the city and interact with the city instead of just like, I'm at home, people can come to me. You know what I mean?
I think that depends on the player in your game too.
Yeah.
I mean, I could definitely see, even not a character we've played before, but like say you're a Toreador and you put all your point into having like a Galleria and like bar space. Well,
you have practically the Louvre, but it's in Chicago.
Yeah, you have a really, really hip art space with like a bar, and people come there just for drinks. People come there for art. You can close it down on a whim to have a private event that you could have it nice enough. You could try and get Elysium there occasionally just for the esteem of having hosted it. Kind of spot. Like, that would be something. You spend those points. The ST, I think, should work with you to use it. And I think as a character like that, they'd want people to come to them.
Right.
Like, I don't need to go to your club. I have my own.
For sure.
So
for sure.
I think it really depends. It's talk to your ST and players about how they want to use their Haven dots.
Yeah, and kind of a flip reverse kind of on that. The Anarch venture I've played for my friend Kara for her live stream games. she runs and owns a co-op record label, and her haven is like the recording space. And also, like, portions of it are used for storing and distributing merch and recording space for bands and that kind of stuff. And that's where she's also, like, organizing San Diego to be, instead of the anarch state it was before, where there was a baron who ran everything, but then she, in the lore, like, turned and was going to sell out San Diego to the Camarilla, but she got killed.
Yay.
So now it's kind of in a big power vacuum, and the anarchs don't know what to do. So she's like, what if we make a spokes council? So that way there is no baron, there's no, like, top dog, but we are all able to, like, each clan is able to vote and choose a representative to come to the council to make decisions, and then we can agree how we're going to, like, cycle out whoever the clan representative is.
Yeah, almost like a Primogen situation, but if the Primogen were, like, the top dogs.
Yeah, it's like the Primogen will be the leader for, like, 10, 15 years, however we want to pose it out, and then each clan will vote or decide amongst themselves how they choose their next leader for the next time slot, and
That's
so on
really
and
cool.
forth.
I like that.
Yeah, but yeah, the recording studio has been kind of a big base of operations, and then the Bruja in that game also owns, like, a vinyl record shop, and that's also been a base of operations for us, like, because he does live shows in the thing, and because of the vinyl store, he's, like, moving merch, and him and I collaborate. Weirdly, Adventure and a Bruja working together. And just being like, we are so efficient, you guys, it's ridiculous. So, yeah, you can have multiple havens and collaborate with other players, and having them kind of have business reasons and social reasons to actually interlock and work together. So, yeah, because we had a thing where he would support local bands and have them play in his shop, and I would come to his shop and list the bands, and if the bands were good, I'd just be like, hey, if you want to record at my studio, or if you want to get signed to our little label, we're a co-op record label that's focused on supporting BIPOC and queer people, da-da-da-da-da-da. And that just kind of synergized really well. So there's tons of options.
Huzzah.
Huzzah! Havens could be a major faction of your game, or not at all. Depends on what you want to do.
Right.
Because you also could just live in a hole in the ground.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, the two vampire games I'm in right now, both characters have decent amount of dots and resources. And so what we've fluffed is, like, they have a really nice place. You can get to it. You know, it's not like a secure or anything like that, but it's like, you know, my Lasombra has quite a few dots in resources. So he lives in a penthouse. That doesn't mean that it's secure or that the doorman is useful. It's just an old man sitting behind a desk. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And that's kind of how we've fluffed it.
I think that makes sense. I also think, just as far as story focus, like you said, if you don't spend the dots, like, I wouldn't punish them, but I probably also wouldn't ever, like, nothing important would ever really happen at your place unless you specifically planned it to. And
Right.
that's when you would bring in well, you don't have any dots in this, so it's going to be dangerous situation, where otherwise it's like, yeah, you got a place to go sleep, whatever.
Right.
Yeah. So I think Haven...
The homies can meet there and talk about where we're going to go next.
Yeah, I think Haven is also secretly, like, the, do you want your spending points to bring this place into the game, and if you're not going to use it, you might want to steer your players away from putting dots into havens. If you're like, we have a lot of the locations figured out, just so you know, unless you really want to, like, push this, it might not come up a lot.
Yeah. So, hooray.
Cool.
I think we nailed it.
Havens. Houses.
Hooses.
Hooses.
Mooses?
Subway tunnels.
Cooses.
Couscous.
Crevasses.
We've gone mad. I'm sorry, everyone. We're too full of Mexican food.
So good.
It's so good.
The chorizo, it's in me.
It is.
It's in me good.
I had a surprise tamale.
Oh.
Yeah, you did.
You did.
I had
got beefed.
Also a sad surprise tamale.
You got beef.
I did get beefed. No.
So, thank you, Paralyze, for the music.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, as I have said before, it do be doopin.
It do be good. Check them out on the Bandcamp.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
We also
I
exist.
think you can find them by their name, Paralyze.
Yes.
Because it's spelt funny.
It is. It's spelled a little funny, but it is all good. The millions of dead cyborgs will be doing.
Yes.
We do exist on social media. I'll be honest, I've completely stopped using Twitter because it's become a hellhole, and I'm so sorry.
We have a Twitter. I post when there's a new episode, but that's about it. I did get us a Blue Sky.
Ooh.
I don't have... So far, by the time this episode comes out, there will be a post about this episode, most likely. I've mostly been using it to just shit post with my friends, so none of anything I posted on is cohesive yet. But we do have one at blankbodies.bsky.social.
Ooh.
Wow.
Yeah, their usernames are long, but it's at blankbodies, I think.
Yeah.
I think that's as close to just our name as I could get.
Cool,
yeah.
That's good to know. We are also still on the Instagram at Blank Bodies Pod, and we still have the Tumblr at Blank Bodies Pod.
I have not been using it. Someone was talking to me that we met live at the live gig at Gen Con about using Tumblr more for vampire stuff, but it seems like most of the people there are doing more like
Mood boards.
Well, mood boards, but also like a lot of like play by text and like characters and interacting in character. And that's interesting, but not something I've had time to dip my toes into. So I've kind of taken a step back from Tumblr because I hadn't used it since I was like 17.
Valid.
So,
we do exist there, and if you want to interact and share your cool stuff, we're happy to, but
yeah,
we're weird millennials, so...
Well, social media is also in a really weird destruction phase of itself right now.
Yeah.
So, like, we already decided we would never do Facebook. It's become boomer in weirdo land.
Yeah, I don't want to deal with somebody trying to give me their weird MLM.
Yeah.
If they want to give it to us, like the whole thing.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Why?
We have standards.
Right, and we can change their standards. If we own it.
That's valid. We do have a TikTok. I'm sorry I've not been posting on it. It's between being slammed with the Gen Con, which also thank you everybody for all the Gen Con stuff.
Yeah, it was a great time.
That was cool.
Y'all
Then
are sweet.
Y'all sweet beans and peeps, and then I immediately got COVID right after Gen Con. So I'm better now.
Me too.
Hooray.
Yeah.
So back to posting. I will do more TikTok shit posting. Honestly, it's really fun to shit talk all the vampire clans on TikTok. I'm not gonna lie.
I gotta make you some more
the edits.
Yeah, some more
that would be sick.
Video
People
edit
like the
stuff.
little video edits.
Yeah, I got a new little CRT. I gotta figure out how to go from HDMI to RCA to a coax cable. Once I get that box built, we'll be in business. But I bought a CRT online on random, only discovered that it only had coaxial in.
Damn.
Which, if you remember, those big thick cables with the single pin that you have to screw into place.
Yep.
Those are harder to deal with than RCA. Turns
wild.
out, unsurprisingly so, probably.
Yeah, the struggles of being an artist.
Ugh.
I know you suffer
But why?
because life is suffering.
Yeah, because life is suffering, and I still don't have a goddamn patron.
You don't, but we have a Patreon.
We have a Patreon. I just need, like, the old school, like, Victorian patron who's like, you can live in my house and blah, blah, blah. I will pay for your lifestyle. Just make pretty things.
That's called being a sugar baby.
Fine. I want a sugar
Guardian.
My friend was telling me about how she used to have a Splenda daddy, which is
a sugar daddy, but he doesn't pay that much.
It's not that they don't pay that much. A Splenda daddy is specifically a sugar daddy who doesn't have the money to be a sugar daddy.
But he trying.
So this guy would be like, anytime you want a drink, come to the bar. I'll buy 3 drinks for you, but you just have to pretend like you're there with me. So she'd go get like a couple cocktails and be like, all right, see ya.
Huh, all right.
We think that her ex worked at the bar, and so he was just going to like one-up her all the time. Be like, I'm just here with my girlfriend, a couple drinks, and then...
Amazing.
But if you want to be our sugar person, we have a patron, and we have some extra stuff we're going to be adding to it soon, so keep your ears open for that.
Spooky season will be upon us.
Open thine ears.
Yes.
For the news.
Yeah,
The word that leaves our vessel's lips.
I don't know. We did a giveaway last year around Halloween, so maybe something like that again. I don't know.
I have no idea if we would ever give things away.
Yeah. I don't know. There might be some new things for patrons in store that we will be talking about
Projects.
soon. Yeah, we're working on a project.
We're working on
right
projects. We have some dots staked.
Right in the gooch.
Right. Okay. But yeah.
I don't know how it would be to get staked in the gooch. That'd have to be a really long stake.
Yep.
To come up through the gooch and get to your heart.
It's called the Vlad.
That's just called a fence post.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, we got a Patreon. We got all kinds of stuff that you get Discord titles. You get added to our Patreon Discord, where we have a lot of fun bonus discussions, people sharing cool stuff just for the patrons. You get access to polls on what we talk about on these episodes, like our clan poll that is bringing the Toreador into focus next. We have things where you can get character sketches, you can get blood, there's a corn tub. There's all kinds of great stuff.
Well, there isn't a corn tub yet.
No,
people
are scheming on the corn tub, John.
I know.
I'm really hoping they figure it out before it gets cold.
It's a hot tub.
It is a hot tub.
You can be in a hot tub when it's cold.
That's fair.
Yeah.
You'll be fine. Maybe not. Yeah, do it. Wait until it's not hot
Why did I
anymore.
say that?
Because when it's cold, we can warm him in the corn tub.
Yeah, I can't. Corn tub will be on pause during summers unless we can put it in an air-conditioned spot, Hunter.
Well, so we're going to have to change the corn tub to $2,000 so that we can get a pop-up tent and a HVAC system. And no, I've got some things in mind for the corn tub, but I have to keep it reasonable because technically the tub itself is like $1,200. So, but we will have a corn tub.
I'm excited for
and a
it.
project that comes along with it.
Yeah.
Crunch,
I'm
crunch.
thinking I probably do need to rent some sort of overhang or temporary wall just so our neighbors don't have to watch that. That might be a good idea.
I don't know what you're talking about because that is a blessing for them.
That's true.
They should be paying us.
Look, I'm low-key trying to pimp John out for September, and I regret nothing. Speaking of, we should probably go.
Yeah.
I'm an awful simp.
Yeah, but getting people to simp.
Oh, that's fine. Anyway, I love you guys. I hope you have a wonderful evening.
Bye-bye.
Oh, that was a little one.